Don't get me wrong.
To remind people what the question was, it was, what would you have done differently?
I asked the vice president what she would do differently in a Biden, in a Harris administration as opposed to a Biden.
If anything, would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind in terms of, and I've been a part of most of the decisions that have had impact.
And what if if anything, she wishes she could have done differently in the past 4 years, or
something like that?
Yeah.
I followed up because I was surprised at the answer. Look, I think it wasn't so much about the question, but it was really more about the answer.
Not a thing comes to mind.
Not a thing comes to mind. And that's why I followed up with, is there anything that you would do differently? And the reason I followed up is because, that wasn't a gotcha question. That was a layup, really.
It was an important question, and I think one she should have expected.
That's what I thought. I actually thought it was a chance for her to explain to all the people who are saying, I want a change agent, for her to explain that, of course, she has a different lived experience from President Biden, but they did have one of the most successful administrations in our country.
That's the tricky part.
And I thought she would then say, I would build on the wins that we've had.
Help me help you.
And I think at that moment, Kamala Harris lost the race. You just proved everybody she was so out of touch that when you ask a basic question, she was still in defensive mode against normal media, your media, or any media. Because she's always deflecting. And that's why she lost generally the popular vote.
Well, that's good news.
And this guy makes strategy for the left-leaning party, by the way.
We have no legislative power, we have no executive power, we have no judicial power. So when you're out of power, you're an opposition party. And go and tell all of the people that are sending you and asking you for money, justify what you did, justify what you did wrong, and tell us what you're going to do different. Because what you've done ain't worth a shit. Get your head around that. And all of the Washington-based Democrats farting around, going to wine and cheese parties and talking about how misogynistic race comes, get your ass out of Washington and go work on a 2026 campaign and do penance to make up for your goddamn arrogance and stupidity. Well, we're going to say we told you so.
Really?
We told you this identity shit was disaster. We told you to get out in front of public safety issues. You didn't. We told you to have an open process and demonstrate the magnificent and staggering and deep talent that exists in the modern Democratic Party. You didn't. We told you to differentiate yourself from Biden. You didn't. I hate to be some fucking know-it-all, but all of these things are part of the record.
So in other words, he's just calling you out of touch. Your strategist is calling you out of touch. Not because it's something you could have not known. It's the fact that everybody knew it, but you still thought they're wrong. Over and over. Okay, you gaslit yourself.
It's a trap!
And people of color and poor people and gay people and all the people that I care about aren't going to be safe in America. Neither the fuck are you guys. Just because you won doesn't mean we don't remember who the fuck you voted for. You're not in the clear. And just please don't test your gangster on me, because you will end on a stretcher, gone forever. So serious. Nobody fucking talk to me unless you want to swing. If you want to fight, text me, call me, whatever. Anybody else, stay the fuck out of my face. And if you voted for Trump, literally, please delete me, block me, get rid of everything of me, or step to me so that I know what's up and I can handle you how I see fit. Please just come forward. We fucking know. Just tell me or leave. Please, the door.
And ladies and gentlemen, this is a teacher that recorded herself on Snapchat, and this got out. Let's see her apology now in public. Oh, now snitching again.
A few moments later.
Gone forever. What does that mean exactly?
Yeah, so
it
that
sounds like a threat.
It sounds very extreme. And again, I was in a moment of high emotions and I shouldn't have ever posted the video. But what the message I was trying to get across, and it came off very wrong, was, if this is going to give people the almost permission in their minds to enact violence against women or anybody, I wanted to basically just say, I'm not going to go down without a fight. I mean, it's my life's dream to be a teacher. I consider those kids my kids because I don't have any of my own.
Well, I hate to break it to you, but that's not your call.
Just the entitlement that you think that you can say, I love these kids as if they were mine, but they're not yours, but you want to justify the love that you had with the message that you sent, don't represent your character. But I need to trust you with a kid, as if this will never reflect in your eyes.
Please just come forward. We fucking know. Just tell me.
And they feel that for me, and it's so fulfilling, it's so rewarding, and I know that what people see right now, I don't look like that person, but I truly would do anything to help any child and any family in need.
That's bait.
No parents would feel safe with you if you can say something so quickly, then apologize. It's my job. I really now. You can't go clean clong.
And we haven't even gotten to Tulsi Gabbard potentially having access to national security information. And Russia loves it, loves her.
And I actually think almost more than Matt Gaetz, Tulsi Gabbard's appointment is devastating. And Tulsi Gabbard's nomination, as much as she says that she's an anti-war person, she's not.
Yeah.
She supports very pro-war individuals.
Including
abroad.
in Syria.
And let's be very clear, a Tulsi Gabbard nomination is a pro-war nomination globally. Point blank, period.
As is Donald Trump as president of the United States. And we haven't even gotten to Tulsi Gabbard potentially having access to national security information. And Russia loves it, loves her.
And I actually think almost more than Matt Gaetz, Tulsi Gabbard's appointment is devastating. And Tulsi Gabbard's nomination, as much as she says that she's an anti-war person, she's not.
Yeah.
She supports very pro-war individuals.
Including
abroad.
in Syria.
Ladies and gentlemen, 9/11 weapon of mass destruction. See this lady here? She's like a Cheney lady. Well, her papa was the one that said this weapon of mass destruction, which has been proven is a lie. We got the Tulsi here. Tulsi was like, what? 9/11? You destroyed my country? What? So she went to the battle and she came back. So she went there because of a lie. The daughter was playing with baby dolls when her father lied and sent people over there. Tell me now, which one is the warmonger? Very simple.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. They used to be on there. Let me go in and check and see if I can add them. Sorry about that. They used to be there. I guess they fell off, but I'll put them on right now.
We told you this identity shit was disaster. We told you.
And now that they lost the popular vote, to the dibby-dee, rabba-dibby-dibby-doom, it's magic.
If you live a simple, clean lifestyle, then they're not going to make as much money. And they're not going to have as much power in Washington and throughout the rest of the country. It's really about power, isn't it?
Well, it's about power and raw economic incentive. And as much as we can suggest that it's simple, it's not easy, and it's not easy by design. And in fact, it's called structural violence. And it's this collaboration of this toxic quartet, if you will, of the way big farming proliferates these cheap toxic calories. Big food picks up those calories, and they tinker with it a bit more with their food scientists to make it more addictive, to make it omnipresent. Then Big Pharma catches us on the other side and starts treating all of our sicknesses with all their diseases And we won't even touch on big insurance and how they play a role because there isn't enough time. But the bottom line is look at the world. It's this simple. Infertility, highest ever. Early onset cancer diagnosis up 79% over the last 3 decades. 74% of adults in America are overweight and obese. We need change. We need it now. What they're doing isn't working, and it's not working on purpose because it's profitable for the very few. And it's bankrupting Americans. It's the number one cause of bankruptcy is a health-related condition, and it's killing them. If you're afraid of RFK, you've lost your mind. Take a back seat. Let the professionals in this space handle it, and thank God when it starts improving.
I'm actually surprised a lot of people hate this guy. Don't you want healthy food that is not overpriced, so you keep buying cheap food filled with sugar?
This is what most Americans innocently put into their bodies these days, and most alarmingly, into the bodies of their children. And it's no coincidence that Americans die earlier than Canadians or Germans or Italians or Japanese or Koreans or Australians or most any other comparable country. And it wasn't always that way. Until the early 1990s, our life expectancy was the same or better than other developed countries. Then suddenly, more and more Americans began suffering from chronic diseases, from obesity, cancer, diabetes, kidney disease, Alzheimer's, heart disease, and all kinds of autoimmune diseases. Our maternal mortality rate soared to the highest of any developed country on earth. Same with infant mortality. Like the frog in the slowly boiling water, we didn't really notice as we got sicker and sicker. We've grown now to accept chronic disease conditions as normal.
I'm not a doctor, don't listen to me, but you can speak to your body once in a while. And I spoke to my body and I said, you're only going to eat meat for a while. Maybe just a month to see what's going to happen. And in 1 month I went from 100 kilo to 88 kilo and I felt very good about it in my personal experience. Now imagine how it would be if I hit the gym.
Don't get me wrong, makosa kita bong. Put the fire na mi blonde, kush, hash, purple, skunk, criollo, colombici, jam, jam, turloqueta, verdeta, welcome.